Hi, today I thought I would give you another video blog. I get asked probably more than anything about teens and cell phones and what apps should be on those cell phones and how much time should they have on the cell phones, and is there anything I can use to control the amount of time and the apps that they download. So I thought I would give you a kind of a show and tell today on some of the controls that in fact you do have. First of all, I want to say that I think that cell phones should be graduated in the same way that kids have to do when they get their driver's license. They have to study a book, take a test, take a class, sit in the car with their parents for 6 months before they're actually allowed to take the car on the road. And I think what's happened with cell phones is that we've just given them to our kids kind of willy-nilly, and we all sort of jumped into the pool at the same time, and we have to backtrack a little bit and think about cell phones in terms of what are the developmental needs of different children at different ages, so that kids who are 9 and 10 have very different needs for their iPads and cell phones and iTouches than kids who are 16 and 17. And I think it's very important to start gradually giving kids more and more responsibility as they need it. So if you have a child who's 9 or 10, yes, they need to have a cell phone if they are going on sleepovers, if they're going out to lunch after school with their buddies, and maybe something's going on they might feel uncomfortable about, or it's a nice way to keep connected with you. A lot of kids are a little bit nervous on those first days when they're out and about with their friends without their parents close by. And so it's important for them to have a phone so they can text you or call you should they need you, and should you need them, conversely. So when you give your child of that age a cell phone, there is no reason for them to need all the bells and whistles and the ability to download anything and everything they want from the net. There's no reason for that. They need the ability to text. Maybe they can take pictures on their phone, but they need very few apps and very few games, because where you want them to be is with you and with the family and taking a walk and being with their friends on bikes and things like that. You don't want them starting the addiction to their phone so young. So I'm going to show you on an iPhone what you can do. There are parental controls built right into your iPhone that many parents don't even know about. Excuse me for having to move this around a little. I'm just trying to figure out how you can see it. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to Settings, and you're going to click on Settings. And then you're going to go to General, and you're going to click on General. And then you're going to go to Restrictions. You have to scroll down a bit, and you're going to click on Restrictions. And then it's going to come up on the top. It's going to say Enable Restrictions. And in order for you to enable these restrictions, you need to put in a very private and personal password, not to be divulged to your children. And this is on their cell phone, remember. So you put in a password. I'm not going to put one in, but I'm going to go back to the controls. You will find here an entire list of things that you can turn on and off on your kids' phones that they will not be able to change once you have locked them in. And that means they have to come to you if they need some of those changed. And so there are things on here like Safari. For example, a child who's 9 or 10 or 11 does not need Safari on their phone. Unless they're Googling how to get to their friend's house who happen to live next door, you want to know the kinds of things they are Googling online. You don't want them looking at porn on the phone, and that's what a lot of kids use their cell phones for. You don't want them Googling, how to make a pipe bomb and putting it in the nearby woods to your house. But these are the kinds of things that young boys and girls are investigating on Safari. And so the one thing that you're trying to do is limit availability and time. That's the best controls that parents can have. So if they can't avail themselves of Safari and Google, they will have to do it on the home computer in front of you. The other thing that this app allows you, that this control allows you to do, is to go to, it says enable, disabling apps and installing apps. You want to make it so that your kids cannot have the freedom to download whatever app they want. It's important for you to have some ability to say no when there are apps that are not safe for them. It is should be your ability to say no to games, to TV shows, to movies. You want your kids to participate in the family. You don't want them sitting up in their bedroom on their little screen watching TV shows. Even if they're shows you don't like, get used to it and watch with them. That's the best way to maintain a relationship. If there's too many goodies on your kids' phones, they don't want to be with you. They want to be with your phones. It's like giving crack to an addict. They need more and more. So this is a very, very important tool that you can use yourself on your phone. The other thing is that Verizon has a program called Family Safeguards. This costs about $5 a month. It's the best $5 you'll ever spend. And this service allows you to do a number of things. It allows you to lock and block your teen's phone. So for example, I don't think kids should have their phones on in school unless a school is requiring them to have it on. They're using their phones in school to send Twitter and Instagram pictures and Snapchat and doing everything but paying attention in class. So this service allows you to shut off their phone during school hours and then turn it back on when you want to. You can use this during homework hours. You can use this during sleep time so that your kids are not using their phone. And it saves you from having to get into that power struggle of, give me your phone. No, I'm not. Give me your phone. No. And that can be such an unpleasant way to end your day. So this gives you some control over that. Also, it has a location service. Now, this is not something I advise parents to use and sit in front of their computer, and watch every movement their child should make. But if you are having suspicions that your teen is hanging places that you don't want them to be hanging, and you've asked them to be honest with you, I always feel it's important for kids to have the opportunity to take responsibility for their behavior. So if they say, I'm going to JoJo's house, and you say, I don't want you to be there, and you don't have permission to go to that house, and I have this very secret way of tracking you on the computer, which I don't like to use, so I prefer you be honest. It gives them a way to save face. My stupid parents are following me around town. Also, if you're trying to find your kid, maybe they were supposed to text you. You said, listen, I'm not following you around town, but I expect that you'll check in with me at 8 and at 10 and let me know where you are. And let's assume sometimes kids forget. Well, then you can go to this location service and you can see where your kids are. So it gives you some semblance of having some sense of where your kids are hanging out. So you can go through that app. Again, it's $5, and it really gives you an opportunity to feel like you have some control over these devices that feel very powerless sometimes because your kids know more than you do. So I hope this was helpful, and take a look at your phones. Thank you.